That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a How in the World Do You Grade Out the Offense as we sit at the bye edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up if you approve of the content. Appreciate that as well. Notifications on. That way you'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. Don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, rat, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishindy@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want me. You can get me. Call-in line, Always Irish Radio, 312-900-8815. Also, Fighting Irish Wire. Every time I post something to USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire, I'm going to link it in the community tab here so you could click it and go read the article. If it is related to what the video is, I'll put it in the description so you could get a little different flavor of this from video to print and put the two together and marry them and come up with an opinion on whatever the topic of the day is. So not only with me, follow Nick Shepkowski, Irish Wire ND on Twitter. Go to the website. There's other people there, right? Follow their stuff too. It's a good team over there, all right? Okay, folks. It's time for the annual bye-week breakdowns. It's tough. Listen, when you do what I do, or you write for a blog, or you have a YouTube, college football, you hit the bye week, you can't do your normal game prep stuff. It's normal to do the obligatory, let's evaluate where we're at the bye. But what's interesting about this is it being a new regime with so much nuance and abnormal stuff happening in Freeman's first year, it is way, way harder to look at this and give an exact letter grade on where we're at. And so much of it has to do with if you're looking at it big picture versus small. When you're looking at how do I grade where we're at right now? You could say, John, all of our goals were ruined week 2. This is a total failure, short-term view this year. Because once you have 2 losses after 2 weeks, you're not playing for anything anybody cares about anymore, other than your pride in a B or C level bowl game, right? So if you just wanted to look at the short term, you could say that. Now, if you're more glass half full, you want to look at the big picture, you could approach it this way. Rough start for Freeman, a lot going against him. Brian Kelly roster with inefficiencies all over it. Quarterback injury. Even without the quarterback injury, you had kind of unknowns at quarterback. But especially against North Carolina in the last game, things seem to be stabilizing, heading in the right direction, and you feel better than you did a few weeks ago about all of the Marcus Freeman era. Both of these positions I just mentioned are fair. It just depends on what lens you want to look at this through. Very, very short picture or big picture. That being said, let's do our best to evaluate where the Notre Dame offense is at the bye. First things first. The North Carolina plan has to be the base plan moving forward for everything Notre Dame does on offense. You got to use that as your base and then expand off it. It's obvious the handcuffs are off Pine. It was a very limited playbook of what they're going to let him do in the first start and all that. No, they realized you can't do that and you need to let this guy make some plays and throw it around a little bit. But that has to be the plan. And while Reese styled up a beautiful game plan and it was executed effectively against North Carolina, that's great. I am frustrated it took us 2 losses and all of our goals to be ruined before we put together an offense that works. That's not how it's supposed to be. and I don't like it. So I'm glad it's getting sorted out now. But for this year, all your goals are ruined. 2 losses through 2 weeks. It's not even real life. Not even real life. So I'm glad we found something that works that you could build off in a big way in North Carolina. I am frustrated it took us this long and 2 losses to do it. Overall, the quarterback room's holding back the entire program. Period. When will I say that it's not? The first day, we entered the first day of fall camp, and I know we have an elite quarterback that's proven, and I know he's elite. Warming up and getting ready for the year. Not until that happens am I going to say this quarterback situation's not holding Notre Dame back from all their hopes and dreams. That's it. Okay? I didn't say very good, above average, really good, good for what he's capable. No. I will only stop saying this when we enter a year and I know I have an elite guy that can make all the throws and win all the big games for Notre Dame. That's the standard of Notre Dame quarterback play. Has to be, or we're not winning anything anybody cares about. Sorry. So overall, yeah, it's a problem. You got to figure it out. You got to get this quarterback thing leveled. It is the number one thing holding this program back. Smaller picture, and it's connected to the bigger picture. Worst case scenario for the entire program was Buckner getting hurt when he did and losing an entire year of development. In the summer, when we did our season preview, I said specifically, the number one nightmare for the entire program is Buckner gets hurt early in the year, misses a bunch of time, and then not only are you struggling this year because you don't have your starting quarterback, but you lose that entire year of development and the team loses it with him. Horrible. Nightmare. That is the worst possible scenario, and it happened. So then that means what? You're going to go into next year with Buckner starting all over again, developing. Pine being what you know he is, but it's limited. And then what else? Wait for CJ. I still read every day. Things are happening with the 23 class, like whatever. But you have a quarterback problem here. You do. And it's why my hair is falling out. I cannot believe the University of Notre Dame cannot have elite quarterback play. I can believe it because we don't play good offense or exciting offense. But how did we get here? That's a larger scale discussion of how we got here in the quarterback room, but it's an issue. Let's get back to Pine, though. Rough start. You can't say it wasn't kind of expected. When he got thrown in there due to a Buckner injury, the running game was nothing. The offensive line wasn't doing anything. How much of that can I be mad at Drew Pine about? But more recently, especially in the last ball game, he's looked a lot more comfortable. I cannot, in good faith, ask any more of Drew Pine than what he's doing right now. Making good decisions, taking care of the ball, distributing it. Good job. Good leader, tough kid. I love all of that. I cannot ask Drew Pine to do more. My problem is Drew Pine shouldn't be out there for me to have to ask for more. You need to have a quarterback room with more guys further developed along, and at least one guy in your room at all times has to be linked to elite. You don't have that now, and it is a problem. Repeat that. At any given time, you at least need one quarterback in that room that has elite tied to him. Either coming in as a 5-star or a big body and a huge arm you could work on. Michael Vick, super fat, whatever it is. I got to have something elite in the quarterback room. I can't ask more of Pine. He's doing all he could do. That's not my issue. The issue is he shouldn't be asked to do it. You should be already down that road and past it. So I hate saying that because people are going to be like, look at what he did. He did a great job. I love it too. Notre Dame's not winning playoff games with Drew Pine, though. You all need to know that. So it's just this in-between dance. And it's just frustrating. It's frustrating, but he's doing all he could do. So I got to give the quarterback area overall that room F of development, retention, and having a lead around and having a plan. F. Even before Buckner was hurt, it was a question mark, like an F, where the quarterback room is overall and has been F. Pine, he's doing as good as he can. Quarterback, not incomplete grade. How can I grade the backup? He's not even supposed to be a starter. He's doing a good job. So I give it kind of an incomplete, but for what Pine can control, he's doing a good job. O-line, again, this is tough. I keep hearing the O-line takes time to gel, John. It takes time to gel. Well, guess what, folks? You don't have that time to gel in college. Why didn't everybody else have to gel and lose their first 2 games? Like, I'm sick of the excuses. John, it takes weeks for them to gel. You don't have weeks. You don't have preseason games unless you're Michigan. So you don't have that time to gel. We had 2 losses before you even need to put long pants on to go outside in the fall. So I'm not buying that. Everybody else who didn't lose their first 2 games has to break in their line too, right? So I hate that excuse. Know what you have and perform. And I'd look at it different if you were Joe Blow University. But when you tout yourself as O-line U, I need more to start the year. All right? So I don't know if that's camp or evaluation or what, or just execution. I don't know. It's obviously getting better. But in this exercise, there's no way that I can excuse the slow start by the O-line that had a lot to do with us losing a couple early games. C- for now, getting better. It's like, oh man, look at how good they were against North Carolina. Yeah, I know that. But I can't ignore that all of our season's goals are already ruined because of what they did the first 2 weeks. No. C-, trending up after North Carolina. Running backs. Estime, that's a dog. That is like my childhood Jerome Bettis type vibe. And I love it. Love it. Diggs, kind of a slow start this year. I don't think he was physically healthy and it was affecting him mentally and physically. Focus, that kind of thing. Tyree, love to see him more involved this year, run game and pass game. I don't see like top of the line elite, but that's a B plus group. And the weeks we weren't able to run the ball, I'm not blaming them. The O-line wasn't getting anything done. So I can't really blame them for the lack of the early production, right? And so I'll give it a B plus. For it to be in the A's, I would have needed you to know your offense is struggling, not good early, spin out of a tackle, break 180 yards. Like, we're not seeing that. But B plus group looking good. And everybody would look bad behind the offensive line the first few weeks. Wide receiver, D-. Like, it's D-. Like, Styles is out there doing all he could do, knowing he's the only real weapon. So, I mean, Thomas maybe could break out second half. But D minus. And the only reason it's not an F is because Styles is out there doing stuff. But the overall production from the wide receiver room after a month, it's off the charts. Like on the bad end, there's no production. There's barely any production. Definitely none you could rely on. So D minus, and I feel bad for Styles because there's nobody else to take the attention. They know it's him. Merriweather, still, I don't get it. Can't see the field, like whatever it is. You're not getting production out of the rest of those wide receivers. Lindsey's a gadget player. I just can't, I can't, you guys. We got a gadget player. You have a walk-on. You're not getting production at all. And you're telling me Merriweather and his big body would be worse than getting no production? You just have so many problems with that old wide receiver thing, how it was put together. And it's a nightmare. So D minus because of Styles, I guess, but it is horrific. In the modern age of college football, for Notre Dame's offense to be here with wide receiver and quarterback, it's a joke. And it's genuinely astounding how good of a program Notre Dame's been the last 5 years operating in this dynamic. Just, it astounds me. Tight end. Yeah, I mean, Michael Mayer, that's beautiful. Like, this group's just not a worry. A group, they have some injury concerns, but performance, I'm not that worried. Give me more Olden Stays. I like Reardon, Bauman. I know there's injuries. Guys are banged up. Tight end's not a concern of mine right now. So keep doing what you're doing and find ways to get a second guy involved other than Mayer whenever you can. Whoever it is, healthy, whatever. So overall, I mean, this offense is a D to me. And it's like, John, how could it be a D? That's like a failing grade pretty much. Folks, are you asking me to ignore the fact that all of our goals were ruined after 2 weeks, primarily because of the offense? I can't do that. I can't do it. The offense is trending up big time post North Carolina. I admit that. I'm happy to see that. But I'm looking at the big picture the first month. And for the first 2.5 games, it's an absolute joke what we've seen. Absolute joke. And it costs you all your goals. So offense, D, looking to improve, I guess. I don't know how much better that wide receiver room's going to get. That might be one that it's just not going to get that much better till new recruits come in. It's rough. And if you're not going to play the young guys just to try and get a spark, I can't help you then. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but it's bad. It's bad. Okay. But I feel bad with the D, but this is Notre Dame. All our big picture goals were ruined after 2 weeks. I can't pass you. I am hopeful by the end of the year, there's a bigger body of work on the good side after North Carolina rip off a bunch of wins, and then I feel different about it. But right now, the offense is nowhere near where it needs to be, even considering the limitations with Pine and the injury and all that. I get it. But there was no excuse to look that bad in the first couple of games, no matter what. So good news is this area is trending up. Bad news is there's a lot of areas of this ball club that are not where they need to be to compete nationally. And it's frustrating to sit here every week and see it. It's got to get better. Okay? Got to get better. I think Tommy Rees could dial up some cool stuff, but it just all has to line up to click or it looks bad. So ride into the bye. Build off what you did in North Carolina, and then rip off a bunch of wins. So offense is trending up, but you didn't get a passing grade for September. I can't do it. Wake me up when September ends.